Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Josh Thomas here from the BitBlock, and today we're going to be discussing something pretty exciting. There is a new Nintendo Direct coming on Thursday. I am joined by Rogers Base.
Rogers Base.
Did you say Ridgers Base?
I don't know. I couldn't fit it.
So, Roger, you already did a prediction video on your channel.
I did.
You are getting to be like Game Explainer, where you can get these videos up like the second they announce things.
Well, in fact, it was funny, too, because I recorded this before I went into work this morning. So I literally recorded that video the second they made the tweet. Like, I saw the tweet, I clicked the website, read all the details, went, okay, I'm going to record a video. And it took like an hour for me to render it, and that's why it was even a little later than it should have been. So, yeah.
So, before we get started, I actually just want to announce something.
Go ahead.
Roger, you're involved with this, but I haven't even run it by you yet.
Oh, okay.
But I'm making you do this. We are officially starting a weekly Nintendo podcast here.
But what?
And we're going to talk about 5 of the most interesting news stories that pop up related to Nintendo every week. And it's going to be a podcast. You'll be able to get an MP3 of it, or you'll be able to watch it here on YouTube. And Roger, you're involved with it.
I am?
You are, yeah.
Every week or no?
Every week.
Oh, no, I can't.
You're stuck. You're stuck. Yay, Roger.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to do this.
Oh, too bad.
I got all these. I got your podcast now, and
Yep.
I'm on the One Piece podcast.
We'll let you
and
miss
I'm
a couple if
I'm
you're too
on
busy.
Japan Time. That's 3
Yep.
podcasts, son. I can't be co-hosting all these shows.
Well, listen. Should have thought about that before you befriended me. I'm like a
guess.
Pokemon. You can't get rid of me.
Can't get rid of it. Well, actually, I could release you, throw you in the PC, and click that release button real quick. So,
Yeah, that doesn't work against me.
no, I know.
So let's start our. You can miss some week shows though.
All
I'm
right,
being
cool. That's
sarcastic.
fair, that's fair,
But
that's fair.
you're involved. With
All right,
it
cool.
heavily.
That's fine.
Okay, listen. I wanted to spring that on you on this,
That's
so
fine.
that you're stuck.
That's fine. I'm okay with it. That's all good.
Yeah, we do these anyway, so you're
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, listen. Nintendo Direct finally announced. People have been begging for this for months now.
Yes.
After a very poor E3 showing, Nintendo needs to hit this one out of the park. What's going to go on? What are your basic predictions here?
Well, we're definitely going to get to see a lot of stuff on Metroid Prime Federation Force. Definitely a new
Oh, you
trailer.
think so?
No, I'm completely
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wow.
No. I think first and foremost, the most important thing that we're going to see out of this, the thing that's priority number 1, if they do not talk about it, I think there's something wrong. That is Super Smash Brothers. We are 100%, 110% going to get a new character announcement. We might get multiple new character announcements. We might find out stuff about the fighter ballot. I don't even necessarily think the character we see in this Nintendo Direct will be the fighter ballot winner. I think it could be, somebody else. It could just be someone they planned already, and then they're going to add in like fighter ballot characters later on, but at least give us an update. But it's been far too long. We know the DLC's in development. We haven't heard anything about Smash Brothers beyond the Mario Maker and the Pirate Ship stage since E3, so it's time. It's time, and I think for sure Thursday we will know another character for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I actually do think it'll be a result of the fighter ballot stuff. I think they'll talk about that specifically, and I think that's where the character or characters will come from. I kind of feel like they gotta at least talk about more than one. Like, even if they're like, this is just one, but there are more coming. If they're just like, this is the character that won or something like that, that'll be kind of, one character.
Oh yeah, I think there'll be
From all
multiple
that
characters. There'll definitely be multiple characters from the fighter ballot. I mean, the fighter ballot wasn't like a voting contest. Like, they're not necessarily
Right,
going
it
to go
was
with
a
the person's
suggestion
number.
box.
Right, exactly. It's a suggestion box. So I think they might announce multiple characters, but I think we could see a new character added to the game as early as Thursday. I think they might do kind of what they did with Roy and Ryu, where the eShop goes down or something Thursday morning and they end up releasing a new character. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that as well. Generally, Smash Brothers announcements, aside from like the fighter bout thing, they usually announce it and then it's like, oh, and it's available in like a day or something like that.
Yeah.
The Mario Maker stage, I remember that was released pretty soon after, and pretty much everything has been.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's got to be like the Smash Brothers DLC stuff is definitely going to be something they talk about here. I'd be amazed if they didn't.
Yeah, I honestly, truthfully believe that is priority number 1. If we don't see anything on Smash Brothers, I'm gonna actually be upset. They could announce like amazing stuff. They could say Metroid Prime 4 coming out exclusive on Wii U. They could announce like all this crazy stuff, and if we don't get Smash Brothers, I'm gonna be disappointed, like flat out, because we've waited too long.
Right. Yeah, it is. When did that end again? In October, right?
Yeah, it ended in the very beginning of October, and we haven't heard any other news since E3. So it's time.
Yeah, and I mean, they could have definitely started to develop some characters even like a month after that ballot opened, because it would probably be pretty clear who at least one of them, one character had to stand out a month after that ballot was open. You know
For
what I
sure,
mean?
for sure.
So they could have been developing a character for a while now. I don't think it would have been smart of them to like literally wait until the ballot is closed and then start developing. That would have made no sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to me, it seems very obvious to me that I think we're getting Inkling. That seems like
Now, is that exciting to you? If it's
yeah.
Inkling?
Oh my God. Yeah. Of
Really?
course. Oh yeah. Seeing like a Splatoon stage in Inkopolis and like
Oh, a Splatoon stage
oh my
would
God.
be amazing, but
Yeah,
the
and then
character.
yes,
do you think
absolutely. I would love to see the Inklings in the game. Are you kidding? They'd be amazing.
I want to
Yeah.
see them, but I feel like by this point, it's such a like talked about topic that it wouldn't be very exciting to me, because I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, they finally did that thing.
Yeah,
that
but
people
you have
been
no
asking.
idea like how they'd play. So when you see that and you see how they implement like the Splatoon characters' moves in Smash Brothers, I think that could be awesome. I mean, all the characters at this point that we'd want to see in Smash Brothers are characters that we're all predicting anyway. Like there really isn't a character that hasn't been brought up in the conversation in terms of Smash Brothers DLC.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's nobody. Nobody's going to be a surprise at this point. They could announce Professor Layton. They could announce the cat from Yokai Watch. They could announce King K. Rool, Shovel Knight. I mean, anybody. They can announce any number of characters, and none of them will really be a surprise, I don't think.
Do you think Shovel Knight news will come from this? Like, will we see Shovel Knight in Smash Brothers for this?
I mean, now would be a good time to show it. If that rumor is true and Shovel Knight's actually in the game, I think now would be a good time to show it. I mean, we've talked about this on numerous occasions before, but I personally want another first-party character before we get Shovel Knight in the game. However, Shovel Knight is one of the only third-party characters, indie characters, whatever, left that haven't been in the game already that I think could actually fit and that I would not mind being in the game. I think Shovel Knight could be really cool. Mostly because I want to see like a Shovel Knight stage and Shovel Knight music, so... Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of opposed to the idea of watering down Smash Brothers by having all these third-party characters and indie characters, but I will say that, like, of all the contenders, Shovel Knight would be the least offensive to me.
Yeah, Shovel Knight would be great.
I guess I'd be okay if it's just like, this is the character that represents indie gaming, and it's the one character we're putting in from indie games and third-party. I'd be okay with that. So,
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Do we see that in the Direct? Is it real? Is it just people making something out of nothing? What's going on with that?
It is 110% real. I mean, I can't, they ripped it off the eShop. So it has to exist. I mean, it's on the eShop already. There's an icon for it, and it's called Twilight Princess HD. Now, whether or not it's an HD remake, like they give it a full HD treatment similar to Wind Waker, or they just like up-res the graphics and allow you to like play it in 1080p or something, it's yet to be seen. We don't really know, how much work they're going to put into it. But that being said, I'd love for it to look like that tech demo we saw of Wii U back in like 2011, where they used Twilight Princess assets, but the game was like beautiful looking in HD. You remember that trailer? It was like Link and Navi walk into a dungeon and they fight Goma.
Yeah, and there was a quote-unquote tech demo for it,
Yeah.
but I don't believe it was an actual tech demo.
No, it wasn't. It was like a cutscene or something, and you could change like the way the lighting looked. But it was
Right.
still...
It wasn't a real game world that we were looking at running off of an engine that was being played on the Wii U. It was videos. It was HD video that was being streamed.
But it's still... I think the assets were from Twilight Princess. So, I mean, if they could do that and they've been working on that, might as well release it,
What if they've been working on that literally since the launch of Wii U?
That'd be crazy.
That would make it a very polished game.
Yeah.
See, this is one of my worries. I also believe that Twilight Princess HD is a thing, and one of my slight worries is we're going to see it, and it's just going to be kind of like an HD version of Twilight Princess where they just sort of polished it up. I want it to look like a real Wii U Zelda game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully they did put the work in redoing a lot of the assets and things.
And you weren't even a huge fan of Twilight Princess, were you, when it first came out?
No, I love Twilight Princess.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Which one am I thinking of that you don't like?
I can't stand Majora's Mask 3D.
That's right.
That was painful for me to play through.
To be fair, I actually didn't really enjoy Majora's Mask 3D either. I love the original Majora's Mask, but I think they kind of screwed it up with the HD remake.
Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me that, so I don't really know what that means. So
Yeah.
maybe I played the lesser version of this series. I don't know.
Yeah. But back to you, because people are going to complain if I keep talking. Give some more predictions.
People are going to complain no matter what. I think there's a possibility we could see Pikmin 4. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense in a way, but this is Nintendo, so you never really know. It's hard to predict Nintendo, but it's like Mr. Miyamoto said Pikmin 4 was near completion. So if something is near completion, surely you could make a trailer for it.
What system do you think it's on?
You see, that's the thing. Like, if we don't see Pikmin 4 in this direct, I really believe that it's an NX game.
Right.
If we do see it, then it would be a Wii U game. I could kind of go for it on either one. I mean, they could do like a Pikmin and Pikmin 2 thing to where we have Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 4 on the Wii U, 2 per console.
Yeah.
I guess maybe at this point, I feel like I would probably prefer it on NX, but NX might not support the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, and I feel like that is the way to play Pikmin, so I would be okay with it being on the Wii U, because, I mean, I think Pikmin 3 is a very pretty game. So either console would be would be great for me.
So do you think there is any possibility it might be on new Nintendo 3DS?
Oh, God. That's a terrible idea, so yes, there's a possibility that could be. We've got a game that's all about beautiful environments and controlling tiny little characters. So yeah, why wouldn't Nintendo put that on an underpowered machine that has a tiny screen?
Well, I was thinking about it like that, though, because there hasn't been a handheld Pikmin game yet. Personally,
for good reason.
I actually think Pikmin would work great on mobile.
Oh, you're a maniac.
No, but listen. You didn't hear what I said
maniac.
first. They announced already that this Nintendo Direct is not going to cover anything NX or anything mobile. They made a point to point that out on the website. So I don't think Pikmin 4, if we do end up seeing Pikmin 4, obviously will be a mobile game. But that being said, in terms of controls, I think the controls would work great on a 3DS or a mobile, because then you could like point and click where you want the Pikmin to go, and you could like move them across the screen with the stylus.
You can do that in the
Wii
Wii U.
I know, but I'm saying if you wanted it on the go, I think control-wise it'd be great. I agree with you though. Graphically, I'd rather see it on a pretty console like Wii U or NX for sure.
So I don't see Nintendo doing that though, because Mr. Miyamoto has spoken many times about how he feels. Like he said that one of the issues they had on the GameCube was that you would lose your Pikmin because they were hard to identify in a standard definition game. He said that being in HD, that made it much easier to know where all your Pikmin are. So it's very hypocritical of Mr. Miyamoto if he does turn around and have a Pikmin game made for the new 3DS, because that completely contradicts what he said. And what he said originally makes sense. This is a game where you do need to know where every one of those little Pikmin are. You do need to have controls that are very fast and fluid. And I don't think you could pull that off on the new 3DS. I love the new 3DS. 3DS is actually one of my favorite Nintendo systems, but some series just don't work on handheld. Some series just don't work on home console. I feel Pikmin is one of those series that you got to keep on a home console.
And then while we're on the topic of Pikmin, I just want to ask you this, because we've talked about it before on my channel, but I don't think it's ever been brought up on your channel. Do you think Pikmin 4 will have some type of amiibo support? And if so, do you think Pikmin is going to get its own series similar to Mario and Animal Crossing?
I think that everything Nintendo does now revolves around some sort of stupid amiibo thing. So, yeah, I don't think they're capable of releasing a game these days that doesn't have an amiibo functionality of some kind.
Would you want it though? Is what I'm asking. Would you want
No,
Pikmin amiibo? I think you would. Of course you would.
Oh, I want Pikmin amiibo, but I don't want a game built around it, because look at Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
Oh,
it's
right.
a game that exists just to sell toys, so I that's a huge no-no, and I don't ever want to see them do that again in any franchise. So if there's going to be Pikmin amiibo, great, cool, like it, but they need to be used properly, just like, any game.
Well, you just mentioned Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, and I feel like we'd be remiss to not talk about Amiibo Festival, Mario Tennis, Xenoblade, and Fire Emblem.
Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, because those are 4 games we already know are coming. Fire Emblem for Wii U, I should clarify, not the 3DS one. Though the 3DS one, I guess, could be in the conversation, but I think we can move that to like the handheld part. But those are the big 4 Wii U games coming out that we know about, and Pokken, I guess, too. Do you think we're going to get any more information on those games? Do you think we're going to get like a 5-minute reel of Mario Tennis stuff, or maybe even potentially like Mario Tennis DLC or something like that?
Yeah, so I predict that the vast majority of this Nintendo Direct is actually going to be focused on those games.
Oh, man.
I mean, I don't want that, but it's Nintendo, and I don't have much faith in them when it comes to putting together impressive directs. I can't remember the last time a Nintendo Direct was actually really good, to be honest with you.
Well, even though the stuff that was announced during it wasn't very good, I loved the Muppet stuff in the E3.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We got to meet those Muppets.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, we went to Muppet Studio. It was great.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a wet blanket, but I do. This is my defense mechanism. I'm telling myself, you're going to be disappointed. Don't get your hopes up. And that way, if it's great or even mediocre, I'll be happy.
That's smart.
But I do see Nintendo focusing at least a bit too much on those games that are already well known and already coming out this holiday season that nobody wants to hear. In a direct, I don't think they need to talk about Mario Tennis. They don't need to talk about Amiibo Festival or any of that stuff. They already released overview trailers for those games.
Yeah, they did.
So it'd be very redundant to like bring that. I mean, I think all the games that are coming out this holiday season, they can like literally just gloss over at the beginning of this direct, get it out of the way, make it like 5 minutes, just cover everything in 5 minutes, and then move on to the stuff we'd actually care to hear about.
So the one game that we also were talking about in that group of other games that was at E3 that I guess we didn't already bring up here is Star Fox Zero. And, both of us heard rumblings that there might potentially be some type of transforming R-Wing amiibo tied with Star Fox Zero. So do you think if we're going to see that might be shown during this direct?
I think that they will definitely talk about Star Fox and show some stuff. If they don't, I will be absolutely flabbergasted. And I know people will be like, no, they didn't talk about Star Fox because they're saving that for like a January or February direct when the game's almost going to be releasing. It's like, no, you got to build up hype for that game now. I don't necessarily know that there is a lot of hype for Star Fox Zero after E3. A lot of people seem to have walked away with that thinking like, visually it didn't look that great, and it seems like more of the same, and the controls definitely weren't justified.
Yeah, I think we're both in agreement that it was good the game got delayed, because they could add a lot of stuff to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want that game to be really great.
Yeah,
and there's rumblings of it having online support, which could suggest that there is some dogfight multiplayer stuff. I would love to see something that's like Star Fox Assault multiplayer.
Ooh, I love Star Fox Assault.
Online with nicer visuals, smoother controls, new weaponry and all that stuff would be amazing. So I do think we'll hear from Star Fox Zero. And yeah, I mean, it was confirmed that it has Amiibo support. And you and I both heard some rumblings that Nintendo was trying to get a transformable Amiibo. And of course, Nintendo is apparently trying to find new ways to make Amiibo, whether they be plushies or cards. So a cool, like, transforming Amiibo would be awesome, where it could go from R-Wing to the little raptor walker looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it'll have Amiibo. It's been confirmed that it has Amiibo support, I believe.
Yeah.
What it is, I don't know. I wish Amiibo support was more meaty, which is weird coming from a vegetarian, but I want my meaty Amiibo support. Where it's like actually giving you cool stuff that makes you happy to have scanned that Amiibo rather than just, oh, you get more health, or oh, here's a bonus bit of coins or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd love to see it.
While we're on the topic of Star Fox, I also do think that we might even get a release date during this direct. I think we might get like a solid like February 14th or something release date for Star Fox.
Yeah, I'd go along with that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that they could talk about?
I mean, there's a lot in terms of 3DS stuff, there's a lot of stuff. I joked earlier, but like Metroid Prime Federation Force, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, Fire Emblem Fates.
Oh, they'll probably talk about Paper Jam, yeah, because that comes out in December in Japan and Europe, and we don't get it until like next year, but I think they will touch on that.
Yeah.
I don't have too much.
Pokemon too, because Masuda-san, who is the he's the guy who basically is in charge of the Pokemon franchise. He is making a television appearance this the 15th, I think, of November, and he's scheduled and so there's going to be a new game announcement. And I don't think they're necessarily going to show that in this direct. They might save that for the 15th, but I wouldn't be surprised if they drop Pokemon Z on us during this too.
What would Pokemon Z be?
Well, the sequel game for X and Y, because we haven't gotten the sequel game yet. Yeah.
Okay. So they don't go by color anymore, huh?
Well, they used to do red and blue. X and Y was like a weird exception, so yeah.
Okay. I can't keep up with Pokemon. It's so difficult for me.
But I think it's a very likely possibility, because with Masuda-san going on TV, Koro recently leaked and showed off different forms of this one Pokemon Zygarde. It would just make sense to tie it with a new game. The TV show has just recently been retitled Pokemon XYZ. So Pokemon Z it makes sense that that's going to be announced sometime soon. And I mean, again, that could happen during this direct, but I think they might be saving that for the 15th.
Yeah, I got a little prediction. Mm-hmm. I hope this is true, but I think maybe they'll talk about Rhythm Heaven for the 3DS and bringing that over to North America.
Ooh, that'd be great. I'd love to.
That's a great game. Like, that is the ultimate Rhythm Heaven game, and that's a game that actually is better on a handheld, for example. Yeah, I'd be so disappointed if they don't translate that. Bring that over. That's great. There's people would love that on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And they need games, so this one's done. You just gotta, do some new recordings for some of the songs that have lyrics. And yeah, I want to see them talk about that in this direct, which is weird because I own the game and I beat the game. And I still would love to hear them say, hey, this is coming over.
Yeah.
Like, that would make me very excited.
In terms of other things that could potentially come over too, we have Style Savvy too. That's already out in Europe. It's it's a pretty successful series, so I can't imagine they're not going to bring that over, even if it's just an eShop game or something like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something you want to hear about?
I mean, I'm not going to play a Style Savvy game.
You told
but-
me that you liked it, didn't you?
No, that's Nintendan. Nintendan loves that.
Oh,
series.
okay. Yeah, Nintendo likes Style
Yeah,
Savvy.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it. I think it's it's a good series. It expands their reach. I have no problem with it. But I do
Listen.
think that could potentially come over. So
I'm a man who's got like over 150 pairs of shoes, so I can't pretend that I'm above the idea of playing a game based on style. Can you be a guy in Style Savvy?
I have no idea.
If you can't be a guy in Style Savvy, that is so sexist.
yeah, I have no
I think
idea.
I think you can only be a girl, which I'm gonna do a whole video about how men are being discriminated against in
Okay.
Style
All right.
Savvy.
I'm not part of this discussion. So, anyways, let's move
You
on.
are, and
No,
you're
no.
gonna be.
Nope. Let's
you're
move
gonna
on.
be-
Let's move on to the big thing, the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about yet.
Their idea what you could be hyping up here.
I think you know what we're talking about. Zelda Wii U.
Oh, they're not gonna talk about that.
You don't think so?
No.
I
That's
think
an NX game, dude.
I agree with you that it's coming to NX, but because I think it's still going to come to Wii U too, even though I don't necessarily want it to.
Wii U 2, by the way, is the final name for the Nintendo NX.
NX, right? No, but even like I do think there's a possibility that we'll see like a 30-second clip of Zelda Wii U, just to be like, listen, we know you guys want it. We don't have any more information to talk about right now, but here's a little teaser for you. Similar to what the first time we saw that game at E3, where it was just like Link in the field and then shooting at that boss. I think it could be something similar to that, but I think we might see something Zelda Wii U related.
Now, I'm going to throw a curveball here.
Okay.
We're going to see something Zelda Wii U related by the end of the year, but it is not going to be in this Nintendo Direct, but rather it's going to be at the Game Awards 2015, and it'll be because they did that last year where they showed the game. So I think this year Nintendo's going to want a strong presence at that again, because they pretty much, I think Nintendo pretty much owned that award show last year.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can't see why they'd be like, oh, we're not interested this year. So I think that's when we're going to see more from Zelda. I think they'll pull that out on the award show, because that's a
likely
bigger
guess.
audience, I think, for the most part, isn't it? Like you're kind of, I mean, you're on television, so people are watching it and all that. It's a more wide appeal than just a little internet video.
I mean, I think it's certainly possible that they save it for the Game Awards, but you also have to remember the Game Awards happened in like January of this year, and they showed Zelda when it was first still announced for this year. And now they're having another Game Awards, which is just being done earlier than it was last year, but it's going to be this year. And if they show off more of Zelda and they're like, oh yeah, it's coming out next year, I don't know. Something doesn't
games
sit right
get delayed
with me.
all the
They're gonna
time.
do
I
it.
don't think people will be like, oh.
I know, but I don't know.
Especially Nintendo games. Those are just guaranteed to be delayed.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh, the other big thing we didn't talk about, Splatoon.
What about it?
Well, do you think they're going to finally announce playable Octolings and the Callie Marie and Octoling amiibo?
I mean, playable Octolings makes no sense to me. I don't understand what logic that has and why people want that.
Well, I mean, it's in the game already. That's why people. I mean, it's been
But
ripped
why-
from the game.
why-
The models are there.
Why would you be? I don't understand why that's appealing.
You don't like the look of the Octolings? I think they look awesome.
But how would you put the like hats on the Octolings? They have very extravagant hair, and there's only female Octolings.
I'm sure they would customize them. I'm sure there's probably something that we don't know about. We're not Nintendo. We're not the developers. I'm sure they could find a way to make the hats work.
I don't know. Nintendo's usually very weird when it comes to hats on things. I don't see it happening. I don't know. I don't see it.
I mean, that's like confirmed. The Octolings are going to be in the game.
That's stupid.
It's been ripped.
That's so
I know it's been ripped
pointless.
from the
Like,
game
who
though.
cares?
It's like that. We know that. But
People care about that?
I want it. Yeah, I want it. I think it's
What
great.
the hell is wrong with
I can't
people?
wait till it gets announced. Yeah.
That's something that excites them?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Are
What the
you
hell
kidding?
is wrong with you?
People
dog?
are going to get mad at you in the comments because I actually am
going to
genuinely
anyways.
excited about Octolings.
But
Yeah.
why? Why would you be excited about Octolings?
I don't know. I think they're cool, man. I like their design. I want to play as them. If they add like a new course or
Why
something,
would
or they
Octolings
have
be playing on the
amiibo
same
challenges
side?
or something, I don't know, man.
Like you could have a team of Octolings and some people are Inklings. That wouldn't make sense because they wouldn't be on the Inklings team.
Make it a new game mode or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
By the way, I'm going to call you out real quick.
Uh-huh.
Why the hell don't you like tower control or tower defense?
Oh my god. All right. Are we
it's
doing
so
this
much-
right
and
now?
you like Rainmaker? What the hell's
I
wrong
love
with you?
Rainmaker and I love Splat Zones and I hate tower control.
Oh my god.
Because tower control, you can easily sit up there. It's like boring to me playing tower control.
Oh, it's so fun. There's so much intensity.
All you ever do is you sit on top of the thing, you turn on Kraken mode, you take a roller, you just hit people with the roller on the top of the control. If you're smart, you know how to avoid people. You're on the bottom of the tower, you stick on the tower, and you win the game. It's boring. It's not fun.
Somebody snipes
There's
you.
zero strategy at all.
Oh,
Yeah, but people don't snipe you. People half
I
the time
do.
are either really good or really bad at Splatoon. And because of the way that random matchmaking works on ranked, most of the time people are stupid or they're so good that like you can't even get anything done. And in the other modes it's manageable because you could like take care of yourself in Rainmaker, you could take care of yourself in Splat Zones. Whereas with tower control, it's all up to your team. The team has to defend you while you're on the tower. And if your team is bad, you are going to lose no matter how good you are.
Not true.
And I hate tower control.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm right. I'd love to see in the comments what people like
Let's
more,
hear it.
Rainmaker, Splat Zone, or tower control.
Now, I will admit, I've never played Rainmaker, but I've watched videos of it. Nintendo posted videos when it like first came up, and I watched them.
Yeah.
It looks so stupid.
Oh, I love Rainmaker. Rainmaker's my second favorite. My favorite Splat Zones, and my third is tower control.
So, do you think? So that's what you're predicting they're going to talk about in this direct, that they're going to make playable Octolings?
I think there's going to be a big Splatoon DLC presence. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if there is, I won't be able to play it until next spring. So, but it'll be interesting.
No, why?
I'm not playing Splatoon out of season. Splatoon is a summer game, so I haven't.
What
I
are you
haven't-
talking about? What?
How the hell do you play Splatoon in November or December or October? Like, what are you doing, you
You
maniac?
put it in your Wii U and you play it. Are you
No
stupid?
way!
What are you talking about?
It's so summer. It's such a summer game.
Just because it's a summer game doesn't mean you can't play it in winter.
That's exactly what it means.
So you're saying if you're home over Christmas
Yeah.
and Mario Sunshine HD gets announced at this Nintendo Direct and they say it's coming out in December, you're not going to play that game in December because it seems like a summer game?
I won't. I will not.
You are daft. You are daft. Let's end this discussion. You're daft.
I won't.
You are daft.
I have principles, is what I have.
Friend, you're daft.
And then
what
you
are
know
gonna
what? When
play
I
in
play
winter instead?
When I played in summer,
1080 snowboarding? Come on. What?
Yeah. In winter, there's tons of stuff I'm going to play.
What are you going to play? Tell me right now. What are
First
you
of
gonna
all,
play?
Wii Ski and Snowboard. It is an open world snowboard and
Oh
ski
my
game, and it is
God.
amazing.
That's going to be the only thing you play all of winter?
No, I'll also play winter levels in Mario games and
Alright.
other things. Animal Crossing.
That's all right.
You know what?
I'm done. I'm done with you.
No,
I'm done with you.
that's
This
it.
is over.
I can't believe what a maniac you are when it comes to what games you play. Hey, Roger!
Yes.
If people want to yell at you for whatever reason, there are plenty, and feel free to send me a private message if you need some reasons to yell at Roger. Where can they find you on this here internet?
They can find me at Rogers Base everywhere. I think they know by now.
Links.
Rogers Base on Twitter, Rogers Base on Tumblr, Rogers Base on Miiverse, Rogers Base on Instagram, Rogers Base on Squidboards, Rogers Base on Smashboards, Rogers Base on Facebook, Rogers Base everywhere.
I don't want to try and force Roger on you, but the links are in the descriptions. Hello.
Ba-dum. Click the links.
Did you like my 3 Zelda puns in that one sentence?
I did.
I worked very hard on that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's let's hope the direct is pretty great, and of course
gonna be good.
we'll talk about it afterwards too.
Bye.
Bye.